Yeah, y'all, I know it took a while to do an update video, but we got one. Now listen carefully. A couple things have happened to Charles's dreads since y'all last seen him. One, if you look close, you can see I took and put rubber bands on the tips and on the roots. And I haven't did an update video, I just been too busy, but he has had rubber bands on his tips and his roots for months now. Months. I'll let you know, if you want to follow this routine, we did not wash it. Just kept the dreads on the rubber bands and on the rubber bands on the tips and on the roots. And a lot of times they broke, you know, he'd be scratching his head, they'd break off, you know, we'd just replace them or whatever. Some of them right now still need replacing, but we took them off. The reason it looks like this now, look down. The reason it looks like this right now is because I twisted it all the way down. You know, he had a lot of new growth and a lot of loose hairs, so I twisted it all the way down. I don't know if you can see in this light, but he got, they kind of like Bantu knots. I just twisted and twisted and twisted until they got twisted down into little bitty balls down on his head. What the rubber bands do, look all the way down. What the rubber bands do, when you put a rubber band on the tip and on the root, I don't know how it works, but for some reason, where the rubber band sits, the hair forms naps around the rubber band, forcing it to lock at the root and at the tip. Now his middle section was still kind of loose. You know, he got fine hair. This is for people with fine hair. Kind of turn, look like that way, and down at the same time. It kind of, the middle section wasn't gonna lock. The tips were locking up because of the rubber bands, and the roots were locking up. So I tried to put a rubber band in the middle of each dread, but that was just, it's starting to look like too many rubber bands. You can do that, but today I was just looking at him walking around and I was like, man, he got some parts that just haven't locked yet and just won't lock. So look down. So look all the way down. So what I wanted to do was twist it, give him a retwist. I did it myself. I didn't take him to no shop or nothing. I just twisted it all the way down, and you twist it and twist it and twist it. It balls down into a little knot. And then you take the remaining hair and you wrap it around the root. You know, it's the first time I ever did anything like this, but I did it. And that's why some of them are tighter than others, because I got better at it as I got around here to the front. You know, if you come around to the back, they still, but his hair got a lot longer. So this is where he is right now. He didn't want me to twist it down like this, and then he had to go to school and explain to people why it's knotted up like this. But anybody who knows something about dreads know what Bantu knots is. And that's what he got in here right now. He got them twisted all the way down. I'm sorry about this light, y'all. I'll step over here by the dishes real quick. Let me see if I can get you some better light so they can see. Yeah, so he over here in the light. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave them like this until they come down. It should only be a couple days. You know, they might stay in longer if you don't mess with them or whatever. But when I was taking them down, when I was twisting them, what I noticed is they are starting to bud. He has buds in there. A lot of the tips are locked, a lot of the roots are locked, and that's because of the rubber bands. I took him to the dread shop a couple times and tried to get him twisted, and what they try to tell me is that his hair isn't nappy enough that twisting it alone won't ever let it lock. I didn't want to agree with him. I figured I would try my own methods. So, you know, I twisted it, and sure enough, 2 weeks later, I took him back to get it retwisted, and it hadn't really locked. I mean, you can see it was starting to tangle, but it would have cost a lot of money to keep going back to and from, back to the place to keep getting it retwisted. You can take that route, but I knew that it was gonna take a long time to down, and it was gonna cost a lot of money. So when I took him back from getting his hair retwisted that last time, I had my wife put rubber bands on the tips and the roots, and we just left them on there. And what happened is, sure enough, he had a lock. He had a nap on the tip and on the roots. right where the rubber band set. I don't know how that works, but he did. It's just the middle part wasn't locking. So we let them stay like that for a while with the rubber bands on them. We replaced them when they came off. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to show y'all those videos. Kind of interesting. But the rubber band staying on there made it lock at the root and the tip. So this is the first time I retwisted it since we put the rubber bands on, and I twisted it all the way down into Bantu knots. And we're gonna leave them down and just keep them on down, twist it all the way down tight like this until, you know, it's time to take them down. And what I'm guessing is gonna happen, what I'm assuming is gonna happen is when I go to take them down, that the middle part will be locked too, because the rubber bands, what they do, you take a rubber band, you wrap it around the tip like 4 or 5 times, you know, get it nice and tight, and you wrap it around the root the same way. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna create a nap right there. And then if you twist them down like this, it causes a nap to be in the middle, because that's really what dreads are, it's just one long nap. And when you got fine hair like this, it's hard to get it to nap up everywhere to form dreads. So here's where we are. Rubber bands on the roots and on the tips, and these dreads twisted all the way down to just a bump or a Bantu knot. And we're just gonna leave them like this for a while. And I wanted to make the video so y'all can see me twisting them and you can see the dreads. The dreads are budding. You know, if you know anything about what budding means, it means they got big lumps of knots and mats in them. So they're gonna be just fine. So this is his update video right now. Sorry it took so long to come out. Also sorry that y'all didn't get to see how long they are, how long they've gotten. They're actually pretty long. He got like 5-6 inch long dreads now. They just twist it all the way down. And they hang and they shake and everything, but the rubber bands need to stay on for his hair type. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the hair shop, they did suggest back combing and crochet hooking and all of that. But what that does is you either gonna end up with them big, thick joints that's hard, you know, like when you do white people hair, or you're gonna have to keep doing it every few months. I mean, that's dreads, that's that way, you know. You can do it that way, you can go that route. I'm not knocking it or nothing. I just didn't want to come in there and force his hair to lock it with crochet hooks and back combing and all of that. I figured it'll lock naturally, it's just gonna take time. So a rubber band putting it on there, you know, that gives his hair time to kind of do its own thing. Twisting them down like this, it gives it time to kind of do its own thing. So, here, duck down, bend your knees a little bit. I'm gonna try to get a couple shots of this. See if I can get in close on some of these. I'm gonna be still right there. But yeah, it ain't gonna work. I'm sorry, y'all ain't really gonna be able to see this, but this is twisted real. I just twisted and twisted and twisted and twisted it down until it's a ball, and then wrap the remaining hair around there. And we're just gonna keep it like this for a while, and I'll let y'all know when something new pop off. And that's it.